Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today's lecture is about what is the controversy between Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal and Enforcement Directorate. Before moving to the points of discussion, you should already know that why ED is being discussed. Recently we had discussed that ED chief tenure was in discussion. Before that, we should know that ED is always in discussion because ED rates the houses of different political leaders, and because of that it is a matter of concern, and that's why we have chosen this topic. And this topic is important from GS2 as well as GS3 perspective. Moving to the points of discussion part. First of all, we are going to discuss the news and then a brief intro about the ED, and then under what law did the ED summon Kejriwal and why has Kejriwal declined to join the investigation, what can Enforcement Directorate do now, and then practice question for prelims and mains. So moving to the news part. So Enforcement Directorate on December 18 issued a fresh summon to the Delhi CM Arvind Kejriwal, and it had asked that you should come to the in front of ED. And what was the case is about? So it was related to the Delhi Excise Policy case. And before that also ED has also issued a summon regarding this thing to Arvind Kejriwal in November, and it has been said that Arvind Kejriwal will not attend because he is going to Vipassana. So this is the news. Moving to the next slide. Next slide is about intro of ED. So Enforcement Directorate is a multidisciplinary organization, and it is basically deals with the fraudery and any economic offences which is happened in the country, and its more investigation is related to the money laundering and violation of foreign exchange laws. And here they will not just deal with the money laundering, they are also dealt with the various foreign exchange laws and under which so many frauds and scams are happening, and they are governed under the Department of Revenue of the Ministry of Finance, and they are also work on the various acts which are the Conservation of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Activities Act 1974, Foreign Exchange Management Act which is FEMA, and PMLA which is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, and then Fugitive Economic Offender 2018. So ED deals with such acts also, and it works on the principle of these acts. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about under what laws did ED summon the Kejriwal. So this is the second time that ED has issued summon to the Arvind Kejriwal, and there is a section 50 in the PMLA which is Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. So under which law the ED has summoned the Arvind Kejriwal and through their authorized agents and before investigation. So the summons says that the person has, it means that Kejriwal has to appear in person, or he can also appear through authorized agents before investigations. And what is the allegations on Arvind Kejriwal? So it has been alleged that according to the ED that Kejriwal had spoken to on a video call with an accused name whose name is Sameer Mahendru, and the accused is also close to the AAP leader Vijay Nair. So because of that it has said that what is the excise policy which is happening in Delhi, it is a brainchild of Kejriwal. So in that connection the Kejriwal has been summoned by the ED. Moving to the next slide. Next slide is about that why has Kejriwal declined to join the investigation. So first of all, Kejriwal had alleged that whatever is happening it is because of the political motivated situation, and this is not the matter of cause, this is matter of the politics, and because of the political rivalry he has issued the summon. The ED has issued the summon to the Kejriwal. On the other hand, Kejriwal had also said that they have a confusion that whether they have been called as a witnesses or a suspect. So the ED had to give the clarity regarding this vagueness of the term, that whether he had called as a witness or as a suspect. So then he will decide that he had to appear in person on which terms. So these are the allegations which has been put on the Kejriwal, and these are the Kejriwal justification that why he is not attending that summon in a person. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about that what Enforcement Directorate do now. So if a person who has been issued summon by the Enforcement Directorate, after that what he should do now, because the person is not coming to the Enforcement Directorate and it is not coming in a person, so what ED can do? So ED can send someone until he cannot come to the office. On the other hand, we have two options. The first option is that ED can issue non-bailable offense against any chief minister, and it can also show up their residences and question him there. And if the person is found guilty and if the ED has a proper evidence related to the economic offenses to the person, then ED has right to arrest that person also. So these are the options left with the Enforcement Directorate. In the future, we will see that what is happening between these development. But for examination point of view, you should know that what is the functions of the ED, what are the criterias EDs have, what are the loopholes ED have, and how ED is becoming a political tool. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is the practice question for prelims, and the first statement is Enforcement Directorate is a part of Department of Revenue, Ministry of Finance. And the second statement is any appeal against any order passed by the PMLA court can directly be filed in the High Court for that jurisdictions. And here you have to find the correct answer. So kindly comment. Moving to the main slide. The main slide is examine the challenges faced by the Enforcement Directorate in India in the context of its mandate to enforce economic laws and combat financial crimes. So you already know that what is ED and what its main purpose and function. So its main function is to prevent financial crime, forgery, scams which is happening in the country, and they have a particular law for such things. And it's the duty of the ED to maintain such kind of the law and to behave in the ambit of the law. On the other hand, what are the challenges ahead of the ED, especially in India? So the first is that many times it has been alleged that it is politically motivated. So there is so much political interference in the work of ED. Then lack of resources, because there are so many financial crimes are happening and we still see that there is a less number of officers who are working in ED. So we need more human power in terms of the ED. And then we have that we have to be co-coordinates with the foreign crimes, because this also deals with the foreign exchanges and other crimes. So they have to make a co-occurrence with the foreign crimes and foreign economic offenses. So these are the loopholes we have in front of the ED, and there is also lack of clarity on the ED's part and also on the political leaders' part that they are using ED as a tool to revenge anyone. So these kind of things should be stopped, and in a way you can write that ED is a very good institution to prevent money laundering and to also promote more transparency in the whole society. And it also, but whatever we have seen that it lacks so much transparency, and sometimes people don't know that why they are arrested and why they are summoned. So they need to clear that vagueness, and they should have a better clarity in terms of if they are summoning anyone. So ED should work on to this. And despite of having various problems, the ED is working in a very good direction, and this is the need of an hour to prevent the economic offenses which are happening in a country and also the outside the country. So that's it for today's lecture. I hope you like this lecture. If you have any query related to this session, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.